This is my skirt, the crinoline. I have put a metal boning like in the other crinoline, and it's the correct. I want it to be at that. That's the puff that I want it to be, the first layer, and I want it to be slightly ever so back, but coming slowly forward. Now this, when I push it back, this sort of big massive puff is not needed. So I'm going to start cutting this crinoline that I've put at the edges and fold them over and stitch them short. So now I think the best place to start is from the back, and then I will reduce it from the sides, and then after reducing it from the sides, that will be it. I'll decide where to put the pull strings that will hold the skirt, and then I'll measure the pull string and create a skirt inside. That will be the length of the pull string, and we'll go around, and that skirt will be able to bounce up and down, but it will not be because of it will be the length of the pull string from inside. So it will mean that although it's bouncing up and down, it can't come more, it can't allow this one to come more forward because it will be on the very edge already, and it will be tight just enough to allow the skirt to stay backward, but at the same time to move totally backward if the skirt wanted to be moved totally backward. So this bell shape will be like a bit mobile. Yes, mobile bell shape. So I think that this specific angle is the best angle, not too much, just like this here. I think that's like about 15 degrees maybe. Okay, about 15 degrees, because I think this is like 45. This should be like 30. Yes, it should be like 15 degrees, or maybe 20, 15 or 20 degrees, like this. This one I will reduce much more, like this much. This metal one I can't reduce it. I can overlap it a bit. Maybe I'll overlap it because I wanted it to go backward more. So I think I will overlap it a bit. I can break it off, and then I will overlap. I have finally pinned here on the other side and put a string so I can get a nice angle. So instead of it to be all the way forward like this, it's going to be bell shaped like this a bit. Not too little, not too much. I think I'm going to put some boning here, or a heavy, some boning will be required there, it seems. Maybe even on the sides. But first of all, I need to first put all the circular boning before I put the straight bonings. And the thing is on the right hip. Right hip of plastic, which I've put it as 65 centimeter. Then now I have crossed over the back to make it small, this long one smaller because of the shape that this original fabric was cut in a straight layout, which was the easiest way to start the shape. And then now I'm just cutting it back by putting darts. So now I've put a small overlap there and a small overlap here, and this side I've humped up more, been pushed because these ones are shorter. Before it was a bit flatter, now it's more pushed back, and this space is more stored here because the whole round is smaller, the circumference. I think that looks very much even now. It's very much even. A slight more overlap this way. No, it's just the way the boning is standing. Yeah, it's the boning. So that's it for this crinoline creation. I am going to now put the heavy boning, which will be at this point because this place needs to be lifted, and then I'll put the more smaller crossover bonings, but the crossover boning will have to come first and then the big one, because the crossover boning are just literally stitched with zigzag stitch, and these ones, they need to be put into a sack. But either way, I could easily do this sort of boning and then undo the stitches wherever they are intersecting with the other boning, because it will be only intersecting at about 1 centimeter gap. So that's it. So this skirt will be soon done. Now my skirt is halfway ready. I have added the thick plastic wheel bone. I have added this one row of boning, and that was the metal boning. This is from the inside, and I've already stitched all the section, and I've stitched this portion off. That was to prevent this one from being too long, so that it will slope downwards in a triangular format, as you can see like this here. In a triangular, like nice slope instead of being punched up. So now that this has been done, I am now going to modify the structure like a bit so that it doesn't hang totally, because when this part is going to be very heavy and it will have all the skirts and things, because there's more fabric coming here than here, because this one is just going to be short and here it's going to be long, so it's going to have the tendency of falling forward. To prevent it from flopping forward like this here and keep it more in shape backward, I'm going to start pinning the coat, the underskirt. The underskirt I have measured on the string at the base here where I pinned it earlier on is 73 centimeters round. It will be naturally less as you go higher. So because it will be naturally less as you go higher due to this length from here to the back, so I'm going to manually pin it because I don't want to be measuring. What I'm going to do is go under the skirt, under my skirt structure here, and then start pinning it from the front. So I'll pin it from the front on one side and then just go from the other side and pin how much is needed. And then after that, I will section where I need boning to come from to hold the skirt downwards like this, so that the thing is maximum stretch and not that it flops like this inside within the skirt structure, or the lace is not heavy enough and anything is flopping this way. So To make it more sturdy, I'm going to put bone structures to run along in the back and in the front side. Somewhere around this section. And I will probably need some boning in just around the waist here, because this section is a bit floppy. Although if I move it up, it will be less floppier because this is the waist is a bit low in front. But just for more structure here in this section, I'm going to mark it out actually. So a laluna, kind of small laluna here, just in front. This side they seem to be doing very well, but I think a small boning will be nice. And the back will definitely need, this side will definitely need boning. So I'll have La Luna, then 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll have 5 and the La Luna. And then I'm going to start designing the skirt I'm going to go over, which will be needing a bone structure to hold down, like I'm going to have a bone structure that's just going to flop down, and it's going to be held by the bones from here going down, and it will not have anything because it will just be the one to hold my main skirt up. But because I don't want white to be showing, this grey white to be showing, so I cannot extend it further than this point. Otherwise, when you look at the model from the side, you might start seeing the skirt once the skirt is mounted. Because like this, it's more or less straight. So it means that unless you actually bend down in front of the model, you can't see the underskirt. But if I made it any longer, it means that you don't even need to bend down, you start seeing the ugly underskirt. But I want not to have this white underskirt, but nice, beautiful lace structure going on there. So I'm going to make a cage net, a cage crinoline cage structure with just boning. Thank you. I have finally finished doing the boning. So I've done this boning, then this rounded boning in front, because here it was a bit sinking on her belly area. So now it's all taut and it's no more sinking. Then I have put boning here, like I said, boning here in the side seam. So I've got two sides, one side seam straightish and one side seam to the back. Then the back seam I made a cross. It's a bit sinking, but at least it is going to hold the skirt over it. Just wonder what I can do. I can put an interface on the skirt in this region so that it doesn't sink. Well, depends on how it looks. I'm going to push this boning, make it less stout in this region so this region can go down. I think the slope is okay, just slightly less. Then the boning all the way here is good, holding very well. And this boning that is under is running nicely with this stick boning holding all the structure together so that it doesn't collapse easily. See, springing back. So that thing boning can't spring back. So all here is all good. And here you can see everything is all good, excellent. That's the boning. It's twisted, have to be twisted in order to make it round. Now, for the underskirt that I wanted to create an underskirt, but after reviewing my options, I realized it's best for me to just put a thread, because this thread, I can hold it on the boning because of all this extra boning. It means I don't need the skirt to stretch it or anything. And if I put it this structure, it means I can adjust the shape and everything. And it's like freestanding away from the body itself, nearly. Just slightly holding here and there. So I'm going to hold it to the center back on the two sides in between the center back of it, so that the back will not be affected, but the center back is staying there. The center back here, as you can see, it's very tight. Because if I bring it closer here, it means that this side will become pointy, so it's holding the center back region when it's from this side to this side, holding it in a ovaloid rounded shape, as you can see. And from there to there, it's holding the front away from the body. You can see what's happening here. And it's going to be on this soft whalebone where it is the strongest. So this is the whole structure. You see, can move up and down. And everything all depending totally on how much pull I give to the threads. If I give it more pull, I can have an archy back. If I give it less pull, have a less of an archy back. And the cross section means that the balance will be more at the back and less in the front. So this is a very good structure. Does not require no skirt or anything and can be freely adjusted. So I'm going to make holes here. It is better for me to make holes here and then stitch the strings from here. Then in that way, I can crisscross it wherever I feel like crisscrossing it, and I'll make some markers on it with different colors so that one will know when putting the string through here, you will know which marker you are on. So you can gauge how much string is being pulled in, because it's very fiddly to go underneath and be checking where the cross section is going to be, as you can see. So that is it. The skirt is done. Now I'm going to sit down and map out the skirt that I'm putting on top. I have this piece of pure white cotton fabric just to try out what the silhouette looks like. This is what it looks like. So it will be attached up there under the little corset, and this is what the shape will look like, standing off here nicely. The hump is not disturbing anyone. It's not even visible that there's a hump there. You just see this metal nice something. The bit there will be standing off, which is good, and here as well. So everything is nice. This one is a bit squarish because of the thing holding from these two sides, which is quite nice as well. And then I will make another drape going downwards, just so that this skirt can be slightly more off the ground. Either that, or I think that's the best option, because if I put stiff fabric under the skirt, I'll need quite a bit of it. Yeah, I'll need quite a bit of it. Yes, I could put stiff fabric under the skirt from here, around this area, downwards. Yes, I could do that. Maybe that's also a good option as well. But otherwise, this is my bell-shaped skirt ready. It's going to be very extremely wide. So real Victorian style width. So that's done. I am doing the crinoline on the skirt, which is going to be made from a nice lace fabric. And it's going to be short in front and going long towards the back. Well, I have pinned it here at a desirable angle. Maybe I will use it a bit here. I think it's pinned too much. So what I'm doing is that I'm stretching it like this, forward, and then I am holding the fabric from under and then gauging it and pinning it. This is what I'm doing in order for me to get a good, nice angle. So I have done that, and then I have marked out the structure that I want, and I realized I would prefer to have a cross section, a crossover boning at the back, because I think like this it will be much more strong and give a more nice structure. So it will mean that in this section I can have a crossover to hold this part, because right now I only have structures to hold this part, so something to hold here, because the skirt is got an opening, so to also hold the opening to be on a nice level. Then it will cross over to the two sides, because I think the sides are quite strong. This side is quite strong, but if the thing is holding from the two ends, which you can see one end there and one end here, I think this will give an overall better structure for my crinoline. Now I have just shifted, pinned this side of the skirt, which you can see it's not completely flat, but a bit off. The fabric was a little short here. My angle is a bit short here, so I'm going to make it curve, just curve upwards at an angle rather than pinning it. I think that the front already says a lot, and the inside it's going to be like that. It's like that right now, but I'm going to put some small darts so that this thing's done, the skirt doesn't fall down. So if I actually cut the fabric, I will first put the boning, crossover bonings and all the other boning, because if I start sewing the skirt, it will be very difficult to start meddling with the boning, because the boning might actually need to be on the skirt line. Yeah, I think two of my bonings are on the skirt line, so it might have to fiddle in between and it might not be, it won't be good. So that's it. My crinoline kept losing shape. That's like, even the plastic boning seems a bit, it's not just a bit, it's still very soft. Even if I added it to this other boning, it's still very soft. The two of them combined, it's still too soft. So the problem of it is that the plastic is thin and it doesn't have a structure, so it has a tendency to bend. But we want it to be straight, unlike metal, which does not spring into other shapes that's been bent into, and this original steel boning, and it just stays in a round, continuous curl, and it's springy. So it will spring into shape only inside the plastic. I don't have any of that. So I have put in this piping that I have cut originally that I tested, and I've used it to stuff to add into the structure. So I've put the two of them together, the extra boning and this one, and I have sandwiched everything together. Now it's a very strong structure. This one can't bend for sure. There's no way it's bending anyway. So I think that this is the ultimate solution. So this is me. I'm stitching it down. My thread has finished. I stitched it back so that it will be stronger. And yeah, that's the solution. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to do it all the way. I've got the edge where I can do it all the way. I'm not sure. I think perhaps I will do it all the way, because even if in front there is no weight, it might distort the whole shaping. And beside there is more of this pipe in the college, so I can use it freely. So I'm just upcycling the pipe. I think this steel boning or steel piece that I got from my laundry basket, and I also had a coil in the plastic zip up duvet cover ridge. It had a boning stabilizer to keep it in the box shape. These are the only places where I know I could have been able to get the metal spring steel, because the normal steel, it bends, and we don't want it to bend. We want the one that springs back, like bounces back, the coil tough steel, not the alloyed steel. Anyway, so I don't have that. I had I've used it for here, so this one cannot spring anyway, it just stays there, and it's holding structure very well. And I've used it here, and the other pieces I've got, they are too small for the diameter of this skirt, so they will not do. So because of that, I've left them out. So that's it. Final solution for my skirt. And then my skirt, I've already cut it out, so I was just testing to see how stable. I'm seeing how it's very stable. How stable the fabric is going to be. So now, yeah, so that's it. The skirt is done. After I'm going to put the boning together, the skirt will be done, and that will be it. I'll just need to adjust it how I want it, and then put the piece there. This skirt is going to reach all the way to the floor, and it's going to be rounded. This drape is going to be rounded off to about there, and then it's going to drastically go up to all the way just a bit lower than the front, so that we have a nice curve. And this skirt, I think, is a bit too forward, so I will need to adjust the bands to bring it much more forward, something more like this here. So that's it.